I'd like to call this Hammond Redevelopment Commission meeting to order on this Tuesday, February 5th, 2019. Will you please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and a moment of silence afterwards. Commissioner Myers, can you lead us?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, thank you. Can you give us a roll call on the commissioners?
Soto Presley. Kasperky.
Here.
Navejas.
Here.
Myricks.
Here.
Hopperidge.
Here, we have 4 present with 1 absent. Okay, number 3, declaration of conflict of interest. Okay, number 4, communications.
None were received.
Okay, number 5 is emergency home loan approval. We have David and Michelle Redfield for 6333.
Yes, we have the family here, and then we also have an interpreter here for the family.
Okay. One of them wants to come forward, I guess, or they could do it from there if you have the person, that's fine.
Have any questions regarding the home loan?
My questions are many, but they're not necessarily to the family. Is this the first time we've entered into the banking industry? I mean, we dipped our toe in the water on this last time about the emergency loan, and I get it. But are we, there's a couple of glaring things here. One I assume is a miscalculation, but on maybe page 5 here, page 3 of 3, I'm sorry, total interest percentage, it says 52%, which I assume is a miscalculation of some kind, especially on an interest-only loan.
Commissioner Kasperky, Bill Kubel is here to explain it more in detail, but this is the loan that we previously discussed. But this is, we had to obtain further information to compile the information for the loan. Bill Kubel, as I stated, is here, and due to the nature of the emergency nature of the loan, that is why it's being structured the way that it is being structured. And he'll go into further detail to explain that for you.
Yeah, I don't have, I assume you're talking about the loan estimate form? I don't have that specific form in front of me. But
The title is additional information about the loan.
Right, so if that amount, it most likely is the cost of the loan as a percentage of the loan. That's not the interest rate. The annual interest rate the city was offering, I believe, was 3%.
3%.
So when you look at the 52%, that's basically the amount they would be charged in interest over, I believe, over the loan term. So that's pretty standard for an amortized loan.
52% would never be standard.
Well, it might be an error then. I'm not exactly sure about where the 52% is coming from. But essentially, it's a 3% loan. So the annual
3% interest only for the first 3 years, or?
Yeah, I believe we were going to provide some flexibility based on, since they currently have a car note, which we spoke with a housing counselor, HUD certified housing counselor. Their concern was due to the car note that their total debt service would be questionable.
And the car note's not listed in the debt service, but I'm not trying to nitpick it too much. I guess my questions are we making the loan? Are we guaranteeing the loan? We're kind of entering new territory here without underwriting guidelines, is my questions.
Yeah, so it is basically you are underwriting the loan, and it's not terribly different from past home loans. The one difference is the amount. So for years and years and years, the city had a home loan program where half of the loan was granted and half the amount was granted, half the amount was loaned. But the amounts, if I believe, there was only 1 or 2 other instances where we got into grants or amounts of this type. Usually they were below 65,000.
Right. And the amounts are, again, but I mean, we're looking at a 86% loan to value as repaired. Is that,
I believe when we got the appraisal, it came out at 102 or 105?
I thought it was a 110 appraisal as repaired and a $95,000 loan was the numbers that I,
Those are close, if not exact, yes.
I'm sorry?
Those are close, yes. The loan amount is 95, and I believe it was either 102 or 110. I don't have the number off the top of my head.
Okay, but so, and again, I guess my questions are for me, I'm entering here blind without underwriting guidelines. We're doing a interest-only, as-repaired loan, with, you know, the ratios, with liberal ratios, let's say.
Well, Commissioner, as stated before, one, this is an emergency loan. As Bill or Mr. Hooper has stated, it's not much different than what we had previously done. And because we're using HUD dollars, this is specifically like the case that HUD wants us to use these dollars for. So actually, this is more in line with what, you know, meeting our standard.
If that's the case that I don't want to open a new can of worms, if you will, to be doing things that are not our fiduciary responsibility. But if this fits, I'm all for the emergency help that we're here to give. I'm not against that, but in loan terms, this is, you know.
I mean, I definitely understand I understand what you're saying, Commissioner. And please remember that this is on a case-by-case basis because of the nature of this loan. This is why we're structuring it in such a way, and everything has been approved. We did a lot of due diligence. We went before a bank, and then we also checked with HUD to make sure we're in line with our regulatory standards as well. So we've done everything to make sure we're in compliance to what HUD would want us to do. As you stated, it is an extraordinary loan, but it's an extraordinary situation that we're addressing at this point in time, sir.
Which fits the case-by-case scenario?
Correct.
And it complies with all HUD requirements for
Yes,
us
sir.
using these kinds of monies?
I would not have brought it before you. We wouldn't have brought it
I
before you if
understand
it
that,
did
but
not.
it's my job to
Yes.
ask.
Most definitely, I understand, yeah.
Thank you.
Mr. President, I would like a motion for the approval of the emergency home loan for David and Michelle Redfield at 6333 Garfield Avenue.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second for the emergency home loan approval for David and Michelle Redfield at 6333 Garfield Avenue. If there's no further questions or discussion, roll call, please.
Soto Presley?
Yes.
Casperky?
Yes.
Navejas?
Yes.
Myrick?
Yes.
Hopperidge?
Yes, motion passes, 5 yes. For the record, Miriam Soto is present now.
I apologize for being late.
It's all right. I was asked from Juana Miller, we're going to move to number 8, and then we'll go back to number 7. So number 8's the authorization to advertise for the sale of real property located at 5951 Willis Avenue.
Commissioners, we had an individual that is interested in the property located at 5951 Willis Avenue. It's a vacant lot that is owned by the Redevelopment Commission, and prior to us selling any piece of land, we have to advertise. So all this is asking is for authorization to advertise for that piece of land.
I so move.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Can we have a roll call on that, please?
Soto Presley?
Yes.
Casperky?
Yes.
Navejas?
Yes.
Myrick?
Yes.
Hopperidge?
Yes, motion passes, 5 yes.
Thank you.
Okay, moving back to number 6 is a public hearing. It's to consider a proposed amendment to the declaratory resolution previously adopted and amended by the commission establishing the Marina redevelopment area and related state line allocation area in the city, and approving a redevelopment plan for the redevelopment area. I will open a public hearing now. Public hearing is open. Public hearing is open. Okay, public hearing is closed. Public hearing is closed. Final public hearing is closed. Okay, we're still gonna skip, number 7. We're gonna move to number 9. It's a resolution 19-2, resolution of City of Hammond Redevelopment Commission confirming the amendment of the redevelopment plan for the Marina redevelopment area.
Commissioners, if you look in your package, you will have a copy of the resolution of the City of Hammond Redevelopment Commission confirming the amendment of the redevelopment plan for the Marina redevelopment area. Carl Sender from Sender and Company is here to further explain this resolution.
Good afternoon, Commission members. Carl Sender with Sender and Company. In 2017, in the fall of 2017, your commission here had previously prepared a declaratory resolution to create an allocation area at the state line area for this anticipated data center that was going to be moving here to the city of Hammond. On October 16, 2018, you passed a declaratory or amended declaratory resolution to designate a taxpayer, which is DX Hammond OpCo LLC. And this designation allows us to capture their personal property as part of the allocation area, and also will be pledged under number 10, resolution 19-3, along with their real property to be used to pay back certain economic development revenue bonds. And so tonight is just confirming the actions that you previously taken back in October, and we had the public hearing earlier, and we had no one speak on this proposed amendment. Happy to answer any questions.
We've kind of tabled a lot of these discussions already, right? We've been kind of through this?
Yes.
Last time at a time for? Right.
It was back in October, like you said.
Was it that far back? Okay. I have no questions. I'm fine with it.
Mr. President, I make a motion to approve Resolution 19-2, resolution of the City of Hammond Redevelopment Commission confirming the amendment of the redevelopment plan for the Marina redevelopment area.
I second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Can we have a roll call on that, please?
Soto Presley?
Yes.
Casperky?
Yes.
Navejas?
Yes.
Myrick?
Yes.
Alpridge?
Yes, motion passes, 5 yes. Okay, number 10's resolution 19-3, resolution of Hammond Redevelopment Commission pledging certain tax increment revenues to the payment of certain economic development revenue bonds of the city of Hammond, Indiana.
Mr. President, I move for the approval of resolution of the City Redevelopment Commission pledging certain tax increment revenues to the payment of certain economic development revenue bonds of the city of Hammond, Indiana.
I second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. That's for resolution 19-3. Can we have a roll call on that, please?
Soto Presley?
Yes.
Casperky?
Yes.
Navejas?
Yes.
Myrick?
Yes.
Alpridge?
Yes, motion passes, 5 yes. Thank you. All right. Going back in reverse now, number 7's approval of proposal for the limited environmental investigation at 8 Rimback Street.
Members of the commission, if you look in your packet, you will find a proposal from EnvioForensics for limited environmental investigation at 8 Rimbach Street. As you may remember, we have approved EnvioForensics as the environmental consultant. So basically, the reason this is coming before you today is because of the amount of the contract. And Michelle Murday is here from EnvioForensics to further explain the scope of work for this proposal.
Good afternoon. Unless I missed, oh, I see it. Never mind. I've looked through this 4 times.
Do you have any questions?
So we've approved this already?
We've
We're here
approved.
to reapprove it?
Well, we've approved the company as one of the EnvioForensics to do environmental work for us. But because anytime the contract is over a certain amount, we do ask that they come before the Redevelopment Commission, just so you can see the scope of the work when the contract is a little larger.
So how much higher is this contract than a standard contract?
I mean,
I don't know what, I guess, the city has seen in the past.
yeah, it's usually if it's over, I usually ask people to come before you if it's over, I believe, like like over $10,000. So anytime it's something outside of like a normal scope of something, then we like them to come before you, just so you know what they're doing for.
This one's not that far out of bounds. It's just
No, it's just anytime it's
the
large.
customary respect, okay, way to process this. Thank you.
Mr.
Go ahead.
Sorry. Mr. President, I make a motion for the approval of proposal for limited environmental investigation at 8 Rimbach Street.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second for the approval proposal for limited environmental investigation at 8 Rimbach Street. Can we have a roll call on that, please?
Soto Presley?
Yes.
Hasbirky?
Yes.
Villegas?
Yes.
Myrick?
Yes.
Upridge?
Yes, motion passes 5 yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Michelle. Okay, number 11's our bills, register of claims.
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion to pay the Register of Claims for December 11th, 2018 through February 1st, 2019. Register of Claims R56908 through R57092.
Second?
Okay, we have a motion and a second for the register of claims dating December 11th, 2018 through February 1st, 2019. That's claims R56908 through claim R57092. Is there any questions or discussion on these claims for staff? Okay, roll call on the claims, please.
Soto Presley?
Yes.
Hasbirky?
Yes.
Villegas?
Yes.
Myrick?
Yes.
Upridge?
Yes, motion passes 5 yes. Okay, number 12's new and unfinished business. I think Ms. Africa Tarver has a couple items.
I do. The very first one, members of the commission, in your packet, or you received a scope of services and fee estimate for an analysis of residential market potential from Zimmerman and Volk Associates. This works in partner with, I know some of you were at the meeting with Jeff Speck, we want to actually engage for a plan for the downtown area. This is like the first preliminary step. He wanted us to complete this first to get an analysis of the residential opportunity within the downtown area prior to actually engaging him. So this will be the first step in moving forward to secure a downtown plan.
Where would the market be? What's the, is there a, whatever? I'm sorry?
Boundaries?
Yeah, just, What's the big picture, the overview here?
Well, overall, Mr. Speck is, at this point in time, he's had several, we've had different conversations with him, but he wants to get, and he looked and basically told us that residential may be an option in the downtown area, but he wanted us to do an analysis prior to saying for sure that that would, so he has all the background information to see whether or not that would be successful as data would reflect it. So this would be like the first step that he wants us to do, is to get the information. And then also, it would be good for us to know the potential for residential in the downtown area, especially with a lot of the developments that are potentially taking place in that area.
You gotta, so we need a motion.
I would, no, I'd move for the approval of it, but I just can't find it.
Yeah, we have a lot of stuff this time. There was a lot of things in there.
I move for the approval of an analysis of a residential market potential for downtown Hammond.
I second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. We have a roll call on that then, please.
Soto Presley?
Yes.
Casperky?
Yes.
Navejas?
Yes.
Myrick?
Yes.
Poppers?
Yes, motion passes, 5 yes.
The second thing I have for you today is a resolution for the Hammond Common Council. As you know, last year, a resolution was sent to the Hammond Common Council from the Hammond Redevelopment Commission. Basically, anytime a company is eligible to apply for the easy deduction through the Hammond Urban Enterprise Association, one of the regulations state, or statutes states, that they have to get approval from the Hammond Council when those properties or those businesses are in an allocation area. So to date, there are 13 companies that are in an allocation area. So the Hammond Common Council, because they are the designating body, would approve whether or not they could actually apply for that deduction, or they could have that deduction applied to their tax bill. And Brian is here today to, if you want, would you like to come up to if you have any further questions at all? But basically, this is something we've done before. It's customary, and the county would like us to do this as a way to, it's a checks and balances system to make sure that the Redevelopment Commission, as well as the council, has looked over it, approved it, and said it's okay for them to apply for this deduction.
So upon our approval, it goes to the council?
It goes on the council, and then the council approves it, and then they're able to apply for the deduction, or the county is, yes, it's able to apply. So it's a checks and balances system, just to make sure that when they approve that deduction, it does not affect our allocation area with our ability to pay bonds.
So moved.
Second?
Okay, thank you, Ms. Tarver. We have a motion and a second. We have a roll call on that, please.
Soto Presley?
Yes.
Casperky?
Yes.
Navejas?
Yes.
Myrick?
Yes.
Poppers?
Yes, motion passes, 5 yes.
Thank you.
Does that conclude your
Yes, that does.
business?
Thank you so
Okay.
much.
All right, number 13 is public comment. It is now open. If anybody'd like to come forward and speak, you may do so.
Hi, Matt Reardon, 5920 Holman Avenue. I just want to thank the commission on behalf of DX Hammond OpCo and working with us on the data center project. A lot of different moving parts. The commissioners will be glad to hear that we're finalizing the design and getting ready to submit to the building department our design plans for permitting and the like. So we're moving right along. So this was an important step in our process and part of our development agreement. The other item for the commissioners is that the underlying documents related to the real estate have been recorded with the county. So I know that was one of the questions that was lingering out there, who owns what and where, but that's been answered and been filed. That's all I have, Mr. President. Questions?
Thank you, Mr. Reardon, for your
Thank
update.
you.
Okay, public comment is still open if anybody would like to speak. Okay, public comment is closed. 14.
Mr. President, I make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Can you all signify by aye?
Aye.
Ayes have it. Meeting is adjourned.